Welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and I just got a confession or two to make. I didn't realise. That's all I'm saying. So it was recently brought to my attention by another video channel, which I'm not going to name because, you know, they're probably getting lots of respect for what they've done for the community, suggesting that anybody who is a historical wargamer and plays with German armies must be a Nazi. And it got me thinking, because I've got some Germans here, and I wouldn't want to be accused of being a Nazi, so we'll just chuck them in the bin, really. But it's okay, because I could play the Americans. Do the American, hang on, Hiroshima. What about the British? Yeah, I'd be British. There's nothing wrong with the British. World War II, they were very respectable, very good things. Hang on a minute, Dresden. Fire bombs. Okay, we'll go back, we'll do something safer. Napoleonics. That's got to be safe, right? Napoleon marching around Europe, supreme emperor of the French, brought back slavery. Okay, so what do we do? What about English Civil War? That's safe, isn't it? That's safe. Gotta be safe. I can't be a Nazi. Cromwell invaded Ireland. Charles I, supreme ruler, tried to take over Britain as a supreme ruler. Slavery, nasty things, massacres. Shit, this is really hard. What about Romans? Romans. Can't be anything. What did the Romans ever do for us? Shoot, Caesar. He killed tens of thousands of tribesmen. Blimey, what am I getting? It must be. How about the Mongols? No, we won't. Yeah. Gotta be okay with the Spartans. Got to be okay with the Spartans. That's perfectly safe. Jeez, they enslaved an entire population and treated them as slaves. So that's it. My historical gaming is finished. Whatever I choose, I'm a bad person. I mean, what can I say? Seriously though, I did this video as a bit of tongue-in-cheek, but to hopefully reference a serious point. This video that has been doing the rounds, and I know a number of people in the community have picked up on it, basically suggesting that if you're a historical gamer and you choose to play with Germans, you must have Nazi sympathies, because why else would you do it? I mean, there's two things there. One is the idea that historical gaming is only World War II, is one. And second, that you can't learn from history, you can't appreciate tactics, weaponry, machines, the bravery of men without being tagged into a political thing. And not all Germans in the war were Nazis. So, interesting. So yeah, I just thought I'd make the point in a quick video just to highlight the fact that it's very easy to judge. It's very easy for the ignorant to come in and say, oh, you must have sympathies. If you fight a German army, you must have sympathies. Where does that take you on everything, right? Where does that take you? If you scratch the surface of history, you'll find some very dark secrets. Does that mean we should judge them differently? Well, I think in the modern era, maybe we do. Seems to be a whole tendency to turn back time and apologise for things that happened in a different time, a different era. And maybe that's the same with gaming. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Can you play a Roman army without reference to the fact that Caesar apparently killed about 150 to 200,000 German tribesmen in 55 BC? That he enslaved huge populations, he massacred huge populations? Does that mean you support that kind of thinking? Napoleon, supreme emperor of the French, got rid of huge numbers of people. brought back slavery into the colonies because it was politically expedient for him. Does that mean you can play the French? You shouldn't play the French? What about Wellington? Wellington's a good British chappie, very good. He was an Irish landlord. Didn't have a very good reputation, Irish landlords, in that period in England or in Britain. And he also opposed all reforms when he was Prime Minister. Does that mean I can't play British? See my point? You can't judge history. You can't judge your gaming on history. You can learn from history and make sure it doesn't happen again. Before I go, I'll recount a story I often recount because I'm an old chap and I repeat the same thing over and over again. So many years ago, I was at a wargaming show, predominantly historical wargaming show, and one of the demonstration games was an extremely impressive Battle of Arnhem. You know the one? Power drop on a city defended by the Germans in Holland. And it was an amazing battlefield. I can't remember the length of the table, massive table, all recreated to perfect scale. All the buildings were there, everything was done to exactly as if it was from an aerial photograph of the real city. And me and my friends were standing there watching this table, talking to people about it. It was just extraordinary, the detail that there was within this. And we noticed a little chap, a little old man standing beside us. Must have been 70, 80 years old, something like that. It was a good few years ago now. And I can't remember why we got talking to him, but we got talking to him. And transpired he was a para, and he'd been there at Arnhem. And we said to him, you know, because this is us playing toy soldiers of a battle that you were at, and friends and colleagues were killed at. How do you feel about this? And he said, and I remember this vividly, he said, if it keeps the memory alive of all my mates and stops this sort of thing happening again, I'm all for it. And then he proceeded to point out where he had been on the table, well, in real life on the table, and explain what he'd been up to that day, or those few days of that campaign. Most extraordinary man, and I don't think I can say any better than that. So get off your high horses. Just because you follow a historical period doesn't mean you have any particular political leanings or anything else towards it. It's just you are interested and want to keep the period and history alive. Otherwise, where are we? Playing Tiddlywinks in the dark, maybe. But then someone will probably point out that Tiddlywinks was a fascist game run by racists, invented by racists, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. This is Dom, signing out.